Today we're going to be checking out the Logitech Pebble Mouse 2 M350s. This is going to be a tiny little mouse that's kind of similar to something like an Apple Magic Mouse, so it's going to be fairly portable. Go ahead and actually slide the mouse out of here. You can see there she is. Super cute and tiny, and I do love this little white scroll wheel with the black clickers that just has some nice contrast, and it kind of gives me some of that classic piano vibes. This is the best part of the video. Oh yeah, and we got another one right there. Bam! And that's basically how you unlock the batteries in the mouse, which is right there. And this mouse is pretty cool overall. I mean, it's really simple. This is held together by two little magnet pieces, and it's going to be very lightweight. I do love how tiny this mouse is. I mean, if I put my hand on it, it's very compact, and if you compare it to like Logitech's other traditional mice, this is the M350 I have with me here, and you can tell this thing is just significantly larger, and it has a whole different ergonomic to it. And I mean, obviously this thing is not really going to be ergonomic at all. If you do like the Apple Magic Mouse, then this is going to be a pretty good alternative because there's nowhere for your palm to really rest on here. If I go ahead and try to like place my hand on there, my hand has nowhere to rest on the mouse, so it's going to be pretty much floating in the air. As opposed with this mouse, I'm going to have a nice place to rest my hand on. But this isn't really a comparison video between these two mice. This is just kind of pointing out that this thing is not very ergonomic, but it does look sleek and clean. But while using this mouse, my wrist would probably be laying on the back over here, and then I would kind of just drag my wrist against my mouse pad or whatever surface I'm using the mouse on. One of the benefits of this mouse being so tiny is that it is going to be lightweight, so you're not going to feel like you're hunking a lot of weight around while using this mouse that isn't very ergonomic. And it's 76 grams, which I mean technically it's not like too light, but it's definitely not too heavy for someone that's using like a consumer grade mouse, and you don't need something that's like ultra lightweight. But the build quality itself is going to be pretty good overall. This thing is going to be made fully of plastic, and it's going to be pretty flexible, as you can see here. If I try to bend this, you can see these buttons just kind of move. I feel like I can easily shatter this right now if I wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. And then this part here, it's also made of plastic. It's a pretty simple design. There's really not much going on here. Even the skates here are made of plastic, and that's pretty much what we have for the materials here. A full-blown plastic mouse, except the mouse scroll wheel here. This is going to be made fully of rubber, and it's going to be pretty grippy overall. I feel like when I scroll, I have a nice grip on it. And then inside the mouse, we're going to have some compartment for storage here. If you have the Logi Bolt receiver, which doesn't come with this mouse, you can go ahead and plug it in via the USB option, or if you don't want to use that, you can go ahead and do a Bluetooth, which is how Logitech kind of designed this mouse to be used like out of the box. And to connect the mouse via Bluetooth, you just flip it over, and you can see we have this little indicator light blinking. You can also see that there's also going to be 3 computers that you can connect to. So if I go ahead and press the button, you can see it's on computer number 2, press it again, computer number 3. So we'll assign it to the first profile / computer. We'll go ahead and connect it to our desktop right now. So while the mouse is in blinking / pairing mode, you just go to your Bluetooth settings, click connect, and it says connecting. And just like that, it is now connected and you're good to go. And as you can see here, we have the mouse connected to our computer, and let's do a quick little polling rate test. So I'm going to use this website called Click Speed Test. I'm going to go ahead and click start. And now you can see as I move my mouse around, it's just going to keep getting readings, and I'm getting about 130 rate on average, 120. So that appears to be where the polling rate is at. If you're using it for gaming, you're probably going to have a harder time with a little bit of lag here and there, but really you can't tell if you're doing like more simple tasks. But I will say this, that even for gaming, I wouldn't really use this just because it's not very ergonomic and it's hard to like be accurate and quick with this. This is more of those stylish mice that you use at work. And speaking of style, this mouse does come in 3 different color options. You're going to be able to get it in this graphite color, you can get it in rose, or you can get it in a white color. This mouse is going to be made up of 50% recycled plastic materials, so that's pretty nice that Logitech is considering all the toxicity on our earth, so thank you Logitech for that. I can't get used to this mouse. It's like so small and it feels so fragile. So one thing I do wish this mouse had was some side buttons here for like a back and forth button, but that's not really a deal breaker. This is going to be a fairly entry-level mouse that has a more sleek and simple design. I'm just so used to these side buttons, it's kind of hard to adjust to this simple mouse that doesn't have much customization going on, but it does have some software that you could tweak some settings, and I want to show you that real quick. So you can press this button as I mentioned earlier, and here are some of the things you can assign the mouse to. And here are some pre-made shortcuts that you can see here, and you can also have some of the suggested and recommended ones. But if you want something very specific to an app, all you do is you click keyboard shortcut, and then you can type in something like Command-Shift-T, and you can assign it to do that when you're in your global settings. If you want to make it like a Google Chrome only shortcut, you press Chrome and do the same thing, and you can pick something that's Chrome specific. And then there's also going to be app specific shortcuts as well. So you can see there's things like close tab, open, link, and new tab, and that's specific to Chrome. And every app is going to have its own specific shortcuts. And if you want to just reset it to the default, just press the middle mouse button and you're good to go. And then if you want to delete any of these profiles, you just press the X button, remove, and you can just add or remove as much as you want. And then quickly running down here, you can see that there's a point and scroll. So here you can adjust the speed of the pointer. So this is like your standard when you're dragging it along your mouse pad or surface. And this is going to be your scrolling with the scroll wheel. So here you can make it standard or inverted. Inverted is going to be more like for Mac style computers where up is down and down is up. And then you're also going to have smooth scrolling, which I recommend keeping on because it's going to make your browser feel a lot smoother. And then there's going to be easy switch, and this is basically going to let you switch between different profiles on your computer without having to actually switch that on the device. So you have two options. You can use it on the mouse or on the software. And then flow is basically going to allow you to just copy files from or text from different computers by simply hitting copy and paste. And then on the settings menu, this is going to be fairly standard. You can swap the left and right mouse buttons. So this is going to be a righties and a lefties mouse since it does have a ambidextrous shape. If we scroll on down, you can create an account with Logitech and back up your settings to your account. That way, if you're traveling a lot, you can just log in and your settings will be saved, restore your settings to default, or remove the device. So software is going to be fairly simple, nothing too complicated here, but if you do want to do some customization for app specific things, you can totally do that. Now with this mouse, you can connect it via Bluetooth or the dongle, and the dongle is not included. That's something you have to purchase separately. And once you have this thing connected, it's going to last you for up to 24 months. So that's going to be a really long battery life, about 2 years give or take, and that's probably around the 5 to 7 hour a day usage. If you're using this thing for like 1 to 2, maybe 3 hours a day, then it's probably going to go further than that, and I would imagine it could take you up to 4 to 5 years if you're not a heavy user with your mouse. And this mouse doesn't have any fancy clickers built into it, but it is going to be ultra silent. I'm going to attempt to show you what it sounds like, but be warned, you might not hear a thing. So here's a quick click test. So I guess you could kind of hear it, but man, this thing is super silent. If you're working in environments like an office or at home where there's people that don't really want to be bothered or are really bothered by loud mouse clicks, then this mouse is going to be perfect if you want to avoid that. So overall, not a bad mouse, but what's going to make it even better is if you pair it up with this new keyboard that Logitech released alongside this mouse. This is pretty much going to be the new K380 keyboard. Both of these products are going to look pretty darn good together, so if you're looking for a combo, then definitely check out this keyboard. And if you want to see my review video on this keyboard, be sure to click the video up here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.